Everyone, welcome back to another Haolonggood review, GRTOYS, whatever. I always get confused by this company. But hey, look, we got new Nasutoceratops figures, which I'm really excited for. It's no secret if you've been watching this channel for a long time that I'm a huge fan of Nasutoceratops. It's one of my favorite ceratopsians. So when I saw Haolonggood was doing Nasutoceratops figures, I had to jump on these. And obviously, I got both versions. We have a brown version and a blue version. Now I ended up getting mine off of AliExpress. They retail for a very affordable $20 each, and I actually think there's a AliExpress anniversary sale going on this week. You can actually snag these figures for $17.50 each, which is an absolute steal. I'll leave the link down below to AliExpress in the description. Now let's just go over the package really quick before we check out these two beautiful figures. We got the both Nasutoceratops on the front of the package, and it doesn't matter which color you get. You're going to get the same box. We got both of them front and center. We got the Haolonggood logo on the bottom. There's some information on the top, pictures on the side, and on the top we have their other products which they have released over the last couple of years. I have the Dinosaurs, Quetzalcoatlus, and Carnotaurus. One thing I like about this company, the prices are very affordable. It makes it very easy to buy both versions. I actually passed on their T-Rex and Therizinosaurus. I just really wasn't feeling those two figures, but I was really excited to see these Nasutoceratops, and we're also getting Ouranosaurus from them really soon. So enough about the packaging. Let's throw these two figures up on the turntable and take a closer look. And here are both versions of the Nasutoceratops, and both are absolutely beautiful, beautiful looking figures. Hard to believe that these figures cost only $20 each. The sculpting is absolutely beautiful, chock full of details, and the paintwork is fantastic. There's really no other company that does work like this in that price point. Maybe Papo back in the day, but yeah, these figures, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, and that's like one of the most appealing qualities of these two. There's two versions, the blue and the brown version, because they're affordable price. That's why I end up getting both of them. The brown one is definitely my favorite. The blue one I like a lot. It does have a couple quality control issues with the paint that I'll get into a little bit later on my blue version. And there's some changes that they did to the head of the Nasutoceratops, which were really unnecessary, but we also cover that a little bit later on in the review. But yeah, these figures are just chock full of personality. Just love the head sculpts on them. The paintwork is pretty much immaculate. Lots of bright colors all over the place, and just beautiful detail peppered throughout. Just two outstanding looking figures for the price. And now for some measurements. This figure is 6 3/4 inches long from the tip of the beak to the tip of the tail, or about 17.1 centimeters, and about 2 3/4 inches tall to the top of the frill, or 6.9 centimeters. The Nasutoceratops in real life was around 14.8 feet long, or 4.5 meters. So I'll put this figure in the 1/26 scale range. So yes, it's a little bit big for the 1/35 scale claimed on the packaging. Now let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on the blue version. I'm considering the blue one the male of the two because of all that vibrant coloration on the frill. The head is wonderfully, wonderfully detailed. Let's steady my hand for a second. You get lots of fine scales around the nasal area, some larger ones underneath the orbit, and another patch of large scales on the side of the frill. Just gives it a very lifelike appearance. Just love the long beak and all that texture on there. The beak is done in a very, very dark gray. You have patches of green, yellow, black, and a nice wash over there, bring out all that nice scale detail. I'm just blown away by how nicely painted this figure is for $20. You get some bright, like almost like a neon green for the frill that goes into a yellow and into some orange. It gives it a really nice, vibrant look. Now, there are some problems with the shape of the head, namely the horns. We only have one specimen, the Nasutoceratops. We have enough of the skull to know what the head looked like, and these horns are just way too curved to look like the specimen that is known. And I feel like the frill is just not wide enough compared to like the skeletals I've looked at online. So if you're really big into accuracy, this is probably going to bother you. It's not bothering me too much because I think it's just a very minor, but still I just don't understand why they took these artistic liberties with this figure when we know the shape of the skull of the Nasutoceratops. So it's definitely going to bug some people. But for $20, these figures I think are just absolutely gracious. So, a complaint of mine, I'm sure it's minor to me. It's probably a big deal to some others. It might stop you from getting it, but just needed to point that out. You can see the mouth nicely sculpted right here. The eye is done yellow with a black pupil. The horns transition from a dark brown all the way to a bone color. A nice row of large scales. Middle of the frill, all the spikes on the side of the frill all decked out. in a nice white coloration. You can see the ear canal sculpted in right here, and then going down to the body. Body is this really dark, like grayish navy blue coloration. I think it's just really, really nice. You've got some nice dark striping along the back. Let's spin the figure around, get the light on it just a little bit better. I don't know why my camera is being all fussy with the back of this figure, but you can see some nice dark black striping on the back of it. And then going to the side, you get some nice light cream, like an orange cream color for the underside. Now for the feet right here, this is one of the quality control issues I have with this figure. I don't know why my camera is not liking this figure today. You can see it's not really painted right. I feel like they were resting when they're still white, and a lot of the paint came off on the bottom. My brown version is actually fine, but I just feel like it didn't get painted enough. Actually, I really don't mind that. It looks like dirt is caked up between the scales, so it gives a really nice, lifelike look. But just some quality control I noticed on here. Then going down to the very short tail, all nicely done. You get some large osteoderms peppered throughout. I'm sure you can hear my dog barking in the background. That means my wife is home. But yeah, all around, really, really cool figure. And let's do our dinosaur butthole check. There it is right there. It's a very, very nice looking dinosaur bum. So let's move on to the brown version. Now, moving on to the brown version of this figure, or the female. This is my favorite of the two. I just love the really complex color scheme that they gave this figure. Like I keep saying, it's really hard to believe that these things only cost around $20 a piece, but that head turned out absolutely gorgeous. Love all the fine texture and details. We got a little bit of orange on the fenestras of the frill. It's the same exact mold as the blue version, so we're not going to spend too much time on this. We're just going to check out the color scheme. It almost looks like a bruise across this figure. You have some like orange and like deep purples mixed in on here. Very complex color scheme. You can see all those osteoderms throughout. A little bit of orange spotting throughout the whole body. The hands came out really, really nice. You notice on the bottom of the feet on mine, except for that little blemish right there. This one does not have the quality control issue that the blue version has. You got some nice large belly scales. Just love the way the muscles for the front legs turned out. Just really cute little chunky Nasutoceratops figures. Absolutely love the Ceratops in the species. You got a row of osteoderms down the middle of the back that stop about the halfway point of the tail, but just absolutely love that color scheme on this brown version. I think this turned out absolutely fantastic. The feet are all decked out in dark gray. The toe claws are painted in off-white color. You got more of that coloration all the way down to the tip of the tail. And let's check with the butthole. And this one definitely needs some baby wipes. Looks a little irritated, but yeah, this one is definitely my favorite of the two. Now moving on with comparisons. First up here is Collecte's little 140 scale human. And next up, let's bring out Safari's Nasutoceratops. These figures are just a little bit bigger than Safari's version, and this still remains one of my favorite figures from Safari. It's a shame that it is retired, so if you missed out on this figure, these are a great substitute if you need a Nasutoceratops for your collection. Now, the head on this one is more scientifically accurate. You can see the difference with the horns on these two, and the frill is just a little bit wider on the Safari version. And you know what? Let's bring out my other Safari Nasutoceratops. A quick fun fact: there's actually two versions of this figure. We got the spotted frill version, which was the original run, and then they did a running change right near the end before it got retired, and they changed it to this banded frill. Both figures, the rest of the figure is painted exactly the same, but just a cool little factoid. I believe the banded version is the more rare of the two. And next up here is Beast of the Mesozoic take on Nasutoceratops. And let's do one more Nasuto. Like I said, really, really love the Ceratops. Here is my custom Mattel Dino Rivals Nasutoceratops. And let's do a couple GRTOYS. Haolonggood figures. Here it is with their GRTOYS, and I really love the GRTOYS figures, but these suffer from, like, I don't know what type of paint they use. They suffer from severe paint rub. Hopefully these Nasutoceratops don't suffer from that quality control issue. And here it is with their Dinosaurs. And like I said earlier, we are now getting a Tyrannosaurus from them. And the other rumor is Kentrosaurus. Really looking forward to Kentrosaurus. That's been a top one of mine for a very long time. And let's do a few Ceratopsian figures. Most of all these are Safari. Here it is with their Triceratops. And here it is with their Styracosaurus. And what's next? Here it is with Diabloceratops. And Vegaceratops, and lastly, Regaliceratops. And here it is with Safari's Limited. Utah Raptor, just wanted to point something out quick. These are $20 figure. This is a $20 figure. You know, huge difference in the sculpt and detail and paintwork, just to show you what a great value these two figures are. I am not knocking Safari at all. I'm just pointing out, you know, the different types of quality in these $20 price points. And lastly, here it is with Rebor's Kiss T-Rex. So final thoughts on these two Nasutoceratops. For the price, you really can't beat these figures. They're beautifully sculpted. The paintwork is excellent. They feel like they should, you know, be in the PNSO range, you know, in that like $35, $40 price point for just how nice the coloration and sculpting is on these figures. Now, for those of you that really big into accuracy, the changes to the horns and frill are probably going to bug you. They're really not bothering me too much because I think the figures turned out absolutely outstanding. And, you know, both colors, you know, like I said, $20, it's very easy to get both versions. I think they look great as a mated pair. Now, like I said at the beginning of the review, you can get these figures off AliExpress. The link is down below in the description. So that will do it for the review. I just got the PNSO Meraxes in. Still going to get to that Beast of Mesozoic Juvenile T-Rex, and I got a couple other new figures coming in. So lots of new reviews will be on the channel in the next week or so. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.